Okay, this video is going to be on the speedometer repair on the headlight pod 2004 Polaris Twin 700 Sportsman headlight pod and instrument cluster. Everything works except the speedo. Now the speedo does flash red for the low fuel, but it actually doesn't indicate speed. Most of the time it's a failure in the Hall effect sensor, better known as just a Speedo sensor. It's electronic, just a wire runs down through the pod down to the front rotor assembly. It mounts there. The Hall effect sensor, or Speedo sensor, is just a little electronic gizmo. The wire runs up through the body, the frame here, into the headlight pod, and then connects into the Speedo itself. Just 3 wires, red, white, black. The actual sensor mounts on the rotary assembly down there. Pretty simple, I guess 1 bolt. So the easiest way to do this is jack the front up, take this tire off so you can get at it, and then what I'll do is I'll check the continuity of each of those 3 wires with just a simple tester. Test the continuity, see if maybe there's a break in the wire. And if the continuity is good on all 3 wires, then it's the sensor. I'll clean it up, but it's 99 times out of 100 I've been told it's the sensor, so I'll have to just replace the sensor and go forward from there. I'll see you in a few. This is the electrical connector that goes into the pod. I just fished it out of the pod, down through here. It comes right over here and it gets into this loom. And the loom runs down to here, and it separates out of the loom again, and it runs to right here. That's that's the Hall effect sensor, or a Speedo sensor. The sensor's inside that's a little metal cap right there, and it reads this as it passes. Again, I was told there's a magnet in there that it reads or something. I'm not sure what, but that's how it works anyway. The easiest thing for me to do would be to clip these wire ties, fish that line out so that then I can expose more of it. And it's protective down here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bolt out, take the whole thing out to where it's easy to deal with. I might stretch it out on the workbench and test it there, or I might just test it right here in place. I'm not sure which. I'm confident that it's not a broken wire. I don't think it is. Doesn't have that feel. So get a clipper, I'll cut these and get this fished out. Be back in a bit. Okay, I got it out of the loom. It's all loose here. I peeled back the protective outer covering. Got these 3 wires out where they're accessible now. And then what I'll do, for those of you that, in case you don't know or are a little leery of messing with them, this is just a cheap little tester. To trace down broken wires and whatnot, these things are invaluable. You could turn it to the continuity testing, And what that does is it sends a signal from one tip to the other. Hear it? Just ignore the numbers. Listen for the tone. Breaking a line, you put one end into a electric line, and then 2 feet away or 3 feet away, you tap in with the other probe, and you're on the same color line. If there's no break, you should get a tone. If there is a break, you won't get a tone. Then you can just work your way up the line and you can narrow down where the break is exactly, or just cut it and lay in a new line altogether. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to test these. Say, stick the black probe in stick the black probe in here on the red clip, and then take the other probe down here to the red line and pierce the coating just a little bit with the tip. These are sharp, and I should get a tone. It's plugged in there. I've got it pierced there. Good tone. So the red line's good. So now let's move to the middle one, which would be the white wire, and pierce. Okay, again, good tone. Good tone. Black one. Alright. Probes in on one end, piercing this end. Good tone. Good tone. So the wiring is okay. So that rules out the possibility of a break in the line causing the malfunction. So now I need to get this out of the way. Now what I need to do is get a little socket, get on here, get this off, pull this out. Just for the record, I've had this out before, a couple days ago, just looking at it, and I did clean. It was awful dirty. I cleaned that up just in case, but it's not what it is. This failed. So let me grab a socket, and we'll go to town getting that off of there. I will be right back. Okay, that's your Hall effect sensor. Now there's a little metal cup there that the sensor, this, slides into. That's just a holding bolt. Put it there. So this is the old Hall effect wiring loom sensor. Now, as if by magic, look what I found laying on my workbench. By golly, that looks like a new one. Let's get her tore open and take a look. That's all there is to it, folks. So, just like the other one, so what we'll do, plug it back in down here where it belongs, put the bolt back through it, and then I'll feed the line up through the loom, back into the headlight pod, plug into the instrument panel. Should be good to go then. I'll be back with you. Okay. I don't have the wheel back on yet, but I just wanted to show the Hall effect sensor, or the Speedo sensor, is installed, bolted in. Lines ran back through the loom, wire tied back up to the pod. It's plugged into the speedometer. So when this girl hits the road again, it'll have a working speedo. Quick update on the machine as a whole. I've got no oil in it. I started to change the oil, and long story short, had the incorrect oil filter. So I'll cover that in a separate video for those of you with 2004s. Anyway, I'm going to put the wheel back on this thing, get my reader out of the way, put away, get the jack out, and get started on putting some oil and oil filter in this thing and hitting the grease zerks some. And I think I can start buttoning up the front end again, getting the plastics put back on, the front rack, the breather lines, tank. It'd be over quicker than I want. Alright, I hope this helps some people. Again, I didn't say it from the get-go. This bolt here was a 10 mil. So really all you need is just a half inch, take the lugs off, 10 mil for that. A couple of 2 or 3 wire ties, side snips, and a tester if you want to test the lines. I did the process of elimination. I cleaned the outside of that up first, so that from all the buildup, so I knew it was able to read. When that wasn't it, you saw me test the lines. Those are all good. That just left the sensor itself. So that should do it. The only other possibility is, I suppose, there could be an electronic failure up in the pod itself. But from what I've read, that's highly, highly unlikely, given that all the other sensors and all the other readings are operating properly. RPMs, fuel gauge, gear selection, hours, miles. So the only thing not working was the speedo indicator itself. So this is done. I'm going to get this put back on so I can start on the oil. Hope it helped. Take care.